Welcome, everybody. This is What's the Deal with David and Goliath? Now, in a nutshell, Goliath challenges the Israelites. And talk about a showdown of epic proportions. The Philistine army, well, they're ready for war. They've set up camp between Sochem and Azekah. But fear not, for Saul, the valiant leader of the Israel troops, he's got something up his sleeve. He's gathered his soldiers near the magnificent valley of Elah. Now the stage is set. The two armies stand on opposite hills with a vast valley separating them. Suddenly out steps big old Goliath, the Philistine champion. This dude is a giant. He stands over 9 feet tall. So that this big bad Philistine dude, Goliath, who's been causing a ruckus for 40 days, he struts out every morning, puffing out his chest and making a whole lot of noise. Now, Jesse, being the concerned dad that he is, he wants David to go down and check on his brothers, who are fighting against the Philistines with Saul. So he hands David some roasted grain, some bread, even 10 cheeses, to take to his brothers and their commanders. So Pappy tells David, you go find out how your brothers are doing, and you bring back some good news. Early next morning, David leaves the sheep in the care of another shepherd. He loads up his provisions and he heads out. And he arrives at the camp just as the Israelis and the Philistine armies are getting ready to rumble. And David leaves his stuff with the supplies dude and he goes to talk to his brothers. But as luck would have it, well, Goliath steps forward and starts mouthing off, as he always does, scaring the crap out of everybody. The soldiers are saying, can you believe this guy? He's out here disrespecting our whole nation. If anyone can kill him, the king will hook them up big time. Wealth, a hottie for a wife, and tax breaks for their whole family. Well, old David's ears perk up about this. And he asks the guys around him, what's going to happen to the person who takes down this Philistine and restores honor to Israel? Who does this uncircumcised Philistine think he is, disrespecting the living God's army? So they tell him what's up and the insane rewards that will await for the one who killed Goliath. Now, just then, David's older brother shows up. He's not too happy with David, chirping away, and he gets all angry, questioning why David's even showed up and accusing him of being a conceited troublemaker. Well, David shoots right back, just like any little brother would. What'd I do? Can't I even speak my mind? Now, word gets around about David's question, and it reaches Saul. So David goes straight to Saul and tells him in 1 Samuel 17:31. And guess what? David steps up, and he offers to go head-to-head with this monstrous dude. You'd think the king would be thrilled, right? But no, he's skeptical. Dude, you're just a kid, and this guy's been fighting since he was a youngster. You can't take him down. But David, well, he's got some serious guts, and he tells Saul, hold up now. I fought off lions and bears when they tried to snatch my sheep. I've actually killed them with my bare hands. Goliath is nothing compared to them. God's got my back. So Saul finally agrees and tries to suit up David in his own personal armor. But you know what? David don't want it. Nah, man, this is not my style. I can't walk around with all this heavy stuff on. So he sticks to what he knows, and he grabs his sling, and he picks up 5 smooth stones from a stream. Now picture this. Here comes this dude Goliath with his trusty sidekick, the shield bearer. And guess what? The G-man keeps getting closer and closer to David, like he's just itching for a showdown. But then he takes one look at young David, and he scoffs. But here's the thing. Despite being seen as just a boy, David is shiny, with health and good looks. And let me tell you, Goliath totally despises him for it. He's all like, who does this kid think he is coming up here and attacking me with sticks? Do I look like a dog to you? And to make matters worse, he starts cursing David and his God. David may be young, but he's got something special going on. And Goliath, well, this massive dude, he starts trash-talking David, thinking he's just a puny little boy with sticks. But our boy David, he ain't having it. He tells Goliath, you come at me with all your fancy weapons, but I come at you with the power of the Lord God Almighty. Today, God's going to use me to take you down, and the whole world will know that there's a God in Israel. So David starts running towards Goliath. Running towards him, I tell you. Not only showing no fear, but total confidence. I'm telling you right now that when the chips are down, trust in the Lord. Now our boy, he starts whirling his shepherd sling over his head, and he lets fly that stone, and it flies straight and true. Buries itself right in Goliath's forehead. Now Goliath hits the ground like a sack of potatoes. Everybody's stunned. The Philistines panic and they start running, and the Israelites, they go berserk, chasing after them. Then David chops off old Goliath's head with his own sword, mind you. So now picture this. Saul, being the curious guy that he is, he turns to Abner, the army commander, and he asks, "Hey, pal, who is that youngster?" And Abner shrugs his shoulders and says, "Honestly, Your Majesty, I have no idea." Well, that answer don't cut it for Saul. And he tells Abner, "Do you figure out who that boy is?" David comes back from defeating the Philistines, still holding the guy's head. Abner wastes no time in leading him straight to Saul. Saul is just busting at the seams, wanting to know, who the heck is this guy? So he asked David, "Hey, kid, who's your daddy?" And guess what? David confidently replies, "Well, I'm the son of your loyal servant Jesse from Bethlehem." Now, ain't that something? David, this bold and brave young man, comes out of nowhere, takes down the mighty Philistine, and Saul, well, he doesn't even recognize him as his harp player. So, my dear friends, this little passage from the book of Samuel shows us that even the most unexpected heroes can come from humble backgrounds. You never know who might surprise you with their courage and their skills. It just goes to show you that greatness doesn't always come from where you expect it. So what's the moral of this story here? Well, it's not about how big and strong you are or how fancy your weapons are. It's about having faith and trusting in God. David was a shepherd boy, and he defeated a giant warrior because he believed. No, he even knew that God was with him. Then, too, God can use anyone to fulfill his purposes. And that's a lesson we can all learn from.